when it's blowing like that, it's just like, I mean, unless you're super prepared. The other thing with that, the Palisades back there is like, they just weren't expecting that.
Right.
You know, you don't grow up in the Palisades thinking, oh, we're gonna get hit by a fire one day. That's a Malibu problem. You know, so the fact that they got hit as hard as they did is just, you know, they're not like prepared for it physically, like with preparedness, you know, and they're also not prepared for it emotionally because, you know, you don't go to bed at night thinking I'm gonna lose all my stuff. But in Malibu, you kind of go to bed thinking that. On the windy nights, you're like, well, yeah, I mean, it could happen, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, every year you're thinking, well, it could happen.
All right, sweet. Well, we just departed Camarillo, California. I got backseat Brandon Jenner.
Backseat Brandon, that was my name in high school.
Was it really?
No.
Oh,
no.
I was going to say that. I got to hear that story. Yeah. We met, I don't know, it was probably a year ago now almost.
No, it was over the summer.
Doing some, wasn't
it? Yeah, last
May?
Yeah.
I guess it was May. Last May.
Spring, yeah.
Doing some flying. Brandon does everything. He's, let's see, musician, actor, reality TV star, pilot, proud father. I mean, what else?
That's the biggest one, the father thing. That takes up all my time, really.
That is it. And you've got, remind me, 2 twins and a newborn.
And a daughter. I've got four kids.
That's right.
Yeah.
And how old's the oldest?
She's 9.
9. Yeah. So you're in the thick of it.
Oh, bro, it's such a heavy lift. I can't even tell you.
But I asked you this morning. I said, "Are you tired?" You said, "No."
No, I feel good today.
Yeah, I
feel good today. Yeah, today I feel good.
Well, I'm super stoked to be flying with you. What is it? It's January 15th or 16th or 17th or something like that, and the fires have just recently getting pretty much put under control. Explain life over the past couple weeks.
It has. Well, it's just we've been really lucky because the fire wasn't really threatening us too acutely over the last couple weeks. Of course, you know, it still means that you got to stay up all night and kind of watch. When the winds blow, I do that anyway. I'm kind of, you know, you got to wake up every few hours and just look out the window because if fires start just over the hill from you, just upwind from you, they're going to be on you really quickly. And
you've had no shortage of fires over this way over the years.
No, I mean, I was actually looking online when these fires came through, and since I was born, this is my 13th fire since I was a kid, and the 9th major fire since I was 12 years old. So, like, you know, ones that I really remember. Gone through about 9 of them, and lost stuff, lost cars, lost sheds. Never lost a main house, which is good. But always had I've had a handful of property damage, a couple times.
And over all those years, have you always lived in the Malibu area over here, or what's your zone?
Yeah, aside from going to college in Colorado to Boulder, I've been Malibu my whole life.
Wait, what years were you in Boulder?
I graduated high school in '99, and I went out there just then, so 2000 to 2004, 3.
We hung out at some point. Yeah, my wife went to Boulder in '99. And I was in art school. Let's see, I went down to art school in 2001 in downtown Denver.
Right.
And but everyone in Boulder thought I went to school in Boulder because every single day I'd pretty much go up to Boulder to go hang out.
Oh, no way! How cool is that?
So when all that class was graduating, I was around for the graduation, hanging out. And everyone, Mike, yo, good. I'm glad to hear you graduated. What was your degree in again? I'm like, I don't even go to school there. I'm just hanging out.
That's amazing. So that's how you guys met?
So my wife and I met. Well, yeah, I know it's wild that she grew up in San Ynez and I'm from Santa Barbara. So it was.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Cool. So back to Malibu, and obviously you've got a deep and large direct family, indirect family.
It's LA, man. Lots of marriages and divorces and kids and marriages and divorces again and kids and marriages and divorces.
It's pretty wild. And a lot of that's been in the limelight. You know, your father is this crazy athlete figure back in your early day times. Like, dude, what was that like, and what do you feel like you had to live up to kind of just growing up in this?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, when I was a kid and you're in middle school, this and that, the athletics come and, the presidential awards where they're doing all these athletic tests and this and that, obviously I felt a lot of pressure. It was like, all right, well, you're Bruce Jenner's kid. You're supposed to kick ass. And all my other peers felt the same way, so they would cheer me on. And, it led me to when I was a kid, it's nothing to really pat myself on the back for, but I remember, breaking the high jump and the long jump record in my middle school. And I had all the kids chasing me around, and they were going, yeah, you can do it, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I felt that kind of peer pressure to be a good athlete ever since I was a young kid.
Yeah.
And kind of always thought that was, what I was going to do. I, of course, wasn't really into more traditional sports, and I wasn't that into necessarily the Olympics or doing stuff like that. I grew up on a motorcycle, so it was like my sports were motocross and snowboarding eventually, which is pretty much why I went to Boulder. I mean, I put 150 days a year in for 3 years in a row up there, in the park. Just all I wanted to do was be a pro snowboarder, and worked really hard at it. Blew my knee out racing motocross, and had surgery. And that kind of just, I don't want to say it slowed me down. I kept doing all that stuff, but it definitely recalibrated things for me, where I was like, you know what? I don't really want to spend my youth getting hurt, getting surgeries, and what does that look like for longevity in my life? And so my parents, my mom is a songwriter. My stepdad, who is in my life since I was really young, is a fantastic music producer. And I really grew up in the studio watching him and being part of the recording process and around incredible musicians. And so that was just something that came kind of naturally to me, in the sense that I had this really great foundation and understanding about what music is, what it means. Do you have something to say? It's just a vehicle for really trying to say something in the world. So and the longevity around it didn't hurt, right?
Yeah.
The idea that I could do this for a long time. So I dove into making music fully when I was in college. Actually, when I was in Boulder, in the dorms, I just picked up a guitar. A friend of mine had it down the road. I got one for $100 at the local music store.
Yep.
Just got the cheapest one they could get, and started playing obsessively, and been making music really very religiously ever since. Of course, kids get in the way of everything. So I've been, and being a dad is I tried to heed the warnings or the lessons that older people have given me, which is that there's no better time in your life than when your kids are young, and there's no more important thing that you'll do than raise your kids. So I've really kind of put a lot of ambition and things on hold in order to be as good of a parent as I can be while my kids are young. So that's been my really big focus.
So awesome, and so awesome of you. Yeah, no doubt, as you know, does go by in a flash. I mean,
my daughter, she's 9. It's the perfect age, but you start to see little windows of that where you're like, oh, her friends are more important than I am, aren't they? But she still is.
But 9's still pretty loving, right?
Yeah, she's very loving. Yeah. She's all about me.
That's really awesome stuff. And music also is just, you talked about longevity and these things that you can do forever.
There was an article that I saw not too long ago. It was kind of doing this little comparing Roger Federer, a tennis player, with another pro, and it might have been Djokovic or something. But
okay,
they were basically talking about how Federer was a very good soccer player. He was also very good at a handful of other things, and it was talking about how variety of movement and variety of disciplines at a young age can really pay dividends later in whatever you choose to be a master at. So Federer actually was talking about how his soccer skills really helped him on the tennis court, this and that. So I've tried to do the same thing with my kids, where it's not about one specific thing that they're into, and just try to mold this fantastic actress, as my daughter loves to do. She does plays, or my boys are they just be great on the motorcycle or whatever. The more things you can expose them to,
Leo
the
Carrillo.
better. Yeah, that's Leo.
Yeah, I love Leo.
Yeah,
not to
it's a
interrupt
nice
you.
camping ground.
Home of the most famous fight scene ever. Yep, Johnny Utah getting beat up by who's the Chili Peppers? Was his
Flea.
Yeah, Flea and Anthony Kiedis, right?
Yeah.
Warchild. That's it.
He's around. He's been around for a long time. That guy. This is a Chumash zone right there. See that big circle?
Yep.
So there's a Chumash family that is direct heritage, and they run that place, and they do ceremonies and all these different things. And that's actually the one in the middle is a pit. It goes down underneath the ground.
Whoa.
And so you sit in that. Yeah, it's very cool. There's a lot of the Native American history around here is incredible. As a matter of fact, the name Malibu came from a Chumash word, which was Humaliwu, which is what they named the village right at Surfrider Beach, which is just up here.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty part of the world, isn't it?
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
you can see why it's hard to leave. And
where are you located now?
I'll show you. We'll fly right over it if you want.
Yeah.
Point Doom Club right here. One of the most expensive trailer parks in the world.
Where's that, up on the hillside
That
here?
one right there, you say that, yeah.
Crazy.
When you come around like a little kind of private beach, and that used to be a nude beach back in the day.
Oh, fun.
Because it's hard to get to.
Can't buzz that one anymore, though?
No.
Get low level?
We could land on it, though, and strip our clothes off.
That'd be kind of
like, yeah.
Make for a good segment of the backseat. Might get some more eyeballs.
Yeah.
Or less. I don't know.
Maybe less, yeah. A couple dudes out there, hairy asses.
You never know.
Running up and down the beach.
Never know what people are into these days.
That's true. There's a lot of, you actually can find, it's not really the right time of the year, but you can see a lot of white sharks from up here too,
crazy.
like great whites swimming around. And there's seals that like to hang out on these rocks, which is why they hang out around here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So did you ever go plane spotting and just go check them out? Or?
Yeah, I saw one the other day. I haven't spent a ton of time looking, but from the helicopter the other day, we saw a good-sized white shark just swimming off of the... Let me see. So my house actually isn't in the TFR. It's just up this, you see where the pier is?
Yep.
So if you make a left up that canyon right where the pier is, we can fly right over.
Let's go do a buzz.
Yeah. You can fly up the right side of this valley.
Okay.
Up a ridge, down a valley, is that what they tell you?
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Right down the middle of it.
When you got all this power. And then if you look down here to the left, this outcropping of trees, see that kind of like that square funny house that's below us that's exposed?
Concrete,
Yeah, and then above that whole grouping of trees, that's all mine with the house in the middle.
Cool.
There. Well, there's my little greenhouse, there's a yurt.
Give it a buzz. God, what a cool spot.
Yeah.
And that's all your property up on the hillside too?
Yeah, exactly. See our little RC.
Oh, is that your garden
little
too?
track. Yep, that's our garden. See this RC track right here? Like we do the my kids' moto track. We ride out there. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I got a deal. That's so cool.
That's the spot.
And so, correct me if I'm wrong. I think your wife's super into gardening, or has done some food shows or something like that. What's she?
Yeah, she's a fantastic cook.
Okay.
It's one of those things where when people in life do superhuman feats.
Yeah.
To me, it's superhuman. To her, it's just easy. She every single night has like an incredible meal for the family. You know, I'm like, I don't understand this. Like, so we did do a show recently on PBS actually about like kind of plant-based cooking, easy to make stuff that her and I, I'm like her helper. Because I'm her biggest fan, and so I'm just her helper, and she's kind of taking us through these different recipes that she makes for the whole family, and it's great. So I grew up in that canyon right back there, where my mom is still there. My little brother, he's the first house up this road right here, on the other side of that mountain ridge.
Cool.
That's where my brother is. So we're all like really close.
That's rad.
My mom, my brother, and I, and then my dad's up there. So this fire, sorry to interrupt. You can see the orange right down here. So that's all fire retardant. They were able to stop it here. This was not the most recent fire. This was the fire that came up just before it, which was called the Franklin Fire.
Okay.
And because of the Franklin Fire, we had a huge fire break between us and the Palisades Fire. If this wasn't here and all this stuff didn't burn,
that would have ripped through.
Then it would have ripped right through to us.
Got it. Gnarly.
Yep. It's a cool history. These are the first houses in Malibu. It was right on this beach right here. The lady that owned all of Malibu, her name was Rindge, and her husband passed, and she lived in the canyon back up there.
Okay.
And when she was running out of money, because she was fighting the state and eventually federal government in so many lawsuits to keep all of Malibu private, she decided to rent out some spots, to lease some spots for ridiculous prices down there, and the only people that could afford it were these silent film actors and actresses of Hollywood back then. This is in like the teens, the 10s and teens.
Yeah.
And so it was like this little enclave of actors and actresses that lived there in houses that were built by set designers. So just really flimsy, like little shacks kind of on the beach. And it was like this little utopia of actors and actresses. back
Crazy.
in the day. That was how it all started. Yeah.
This was the fire a month ago?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
no. So
Oh,
look
this
on
is
the
recent.
beach. You can see, look at all these houses that were on the beach that got destroyed.
Oh,
You see
shit.
that?
These
See
are where
those
they all got
huge-
cooked.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So this is part of the Palisades Fire. The
Okay.
Franklin Fire stopped kind of back there.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell where, because this new fire went right up to the border.
Yeah.
Right up to the break line of that one. So, but a lot of these, I mean, look up on the hill, like a lot of these homes are just gone, you know? Look at that. I mean, look how many homes on the hill up there. It's crazy.
Oh, my God.
Pretty wild, huh? Yeah,
Holy
look at that. That's really bad right there, huh?
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. And they, you know, that beach right back there, kind of the beginning of it is at Corral. It's called Billionaires Beach.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like all, you know, Larry Ellison and all these guys like have big, huge properties there.
Gotcha.
Oh, look at Big Rock. Big Rock got smoked too. Wow.
Unreal.
Yeah, that whole neighborhood is Big Rock. I kind of spent a lot of time growing up in there. I was in a band with my buddy.
Is that up on the
One of my
hillside you're
best
talking
friends.
about? or-
Yeah, one of my best friends was right up there on this community up there, Big Rock. Some of them survived. Look at that. I mean,
Oh, man.
yeah, and then this is where it really got hit hard. Is like,
This is the real, like, Palisade.
yeah. So that's like
Pacific
Sunset.
Palisades.
That's Sunset Mesa. That's like a zone that clearly got just hit really hard. I mean, look at all the destruction up there on that
Yeah,
bluff. You know,
holy
there's a few that are around, but like up, you know, especially on the end there, like those are all gone. You know. Yep, that's the Palisades. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I mean, all that. That's all
Oh,
gone.
my God.
All those homes right there. This is like the main part of the Palisades. It's just off us to the left right now. That's where it
Crazy.
really
I'm
got
gonna flip this one around and try to not bust the TFR.
Keep it tight.
But I want to get a quick look at this before we zip out of here. Holy shit, dude. God, the homes, all these homes just right on the freaking water. Which makes you realize, too, how fierce and gnarly that wind must have been to just rip right down the hillside.
Well, that's the thing
decimate
that
everything at the edge.
you can't compete with.
Yeah.
You know, when it's blowing like that, it's just like you know. I mean, unless you're super prepared. The other thing with the Palisades back there is like they just weren't expecting that.
Right.
You know, they you don't grow up in the Palisades thinking, oh, we're gonna get hit by a fire one day. That's a Malibu problem.
Uh-huh.
You know. So the fact that they got hit as hard as they did is just really, you know, they're not like prepared for it physically, like with preparedness, you know.
Yeah.
And they're also not prepared for it emotionally because, you know, you don't go to bed at night thinking I'm gonna lose all my stuff. But in Malibu, you kind of go to bed thinking that on the windy nights. You're like, well, yeah, I mean, it could happen, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, every year you're thinking, well, it could happen. See, it's one of those things where, like, it's, you know, I've been through so many of them that I remember. I've fought the fire for so many of them that I remember. Like, you know, it's just a part of life out here.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, you know, big, like the Woolsey fire was all over the news. In 2018,
Yep.
you know, the Franklin fire, you know, you get people texting you. That was just a month ago, and you just got to be really, you got to be really prepared. You know, it's just you. I mean, if you're gonna live in Malibu, you want to make sure that you have a property that is defendable.
Yeah.
And ideally, somebody stays behind and, you know, does the necessary stuff. Because, as we've talked a lot about it, you know, it's amazing how often people save their homes with just a bucket of water.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
So, what else? Yeah, your brother's on a new reality TV show.
Oh
I saw
my
you make a
God.
post. What's that all
Oh
about?
my God, I'm loving this.
Special Forces?
Yeah,
So
I've never heard about this.
Give me the lowdown.
Well, I've had a couple buddies that you know, a couple years ago were like, oh my God, there's this new show that is awesome. They take celebrities or like well-known people and they put them through like 10, 14 days or whatever it is, a couple weeks of like intense boot camp,
Yep.
basically. And it's a competition show to see like who can make it all the way through and doesn't quit. Right?
Yeah.
So it's just they push them to their limits where they, pretty much everybody quits. You know, they're like, fuck this, I don't want to do it anymore. And so Brody's on the newest season, and I think they're just 3 episodes in or something like that. And I'm actually getting caught up because we've been with no power and stuff at the house, and so I've been so damn busy, kind of like just managing all of my mom's and my, I've just been running around, bouncing around, that I haven't had time to watch. But I just last night started watching it, tuned in, and I'm like, oh, it's the best. I mean, to watch your little brother, like, because I can see how nervous he is in the beginning, sitting in the boat, and he's just kind of going like, oh man, what is this going to be like? And he did it, yeah, from what I understand, he did a great job. And I'm like, I'm just really thrilled to watch the whole thing.
So where are we going right now? What is this place? Give me the lowdown.
It's a location ranch, and a buddy of mine that I've had for a long time, he's the manager of it.
It's his property.
Like that, yeah. So what I would normally do is come to the left a good amount, fly up this ridge line.
Okay.
Crank it right now.
Right now?
Yep. And there's your runway. See?
Oh, cool. Yeah. Killer. Should we shut down or just keep carrying on?
Let's see if Rob is here.
Yeah, let's shut down.
Come and say hi.
Cool.
Keep your pants on. Want me to tell you?
Yeah, I want the lowdown of the property, just
so
quick.
Big Sky Movie Ranch, been filming since the 50s. Where you are right now is the Outpost, and this is one of the sets from Westworld. Also the White House on the hill, which you can kind of see in the background. That is from Carnival, and it's from Saving Mr. Banks and Westworld. There's also Hallmark Village, which is a church and an old barn from all the old Hallmark movies. And it's 7,000 acres.
Jeez.
And it's also where they shot Little House on the Prairie.
That is
It is,
awesome.
right? They did shoot Little House on the Prairie. That's so cool.
Radio check.
Yep. Yeah, if you want, we can fly. We can fly along the river if you want. I mean, it's kind of cool.
Which way is that?
I'll
Just
show you.
Okay, cool. I'll just send it and we'll go from there. You good back there, buckled up and all set?
Yep, cool. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, man, thanks for coming along. And I know your life has been busy and everything with things going on in life and family, so appreciate you making the time.
Oh, man, come on. No, you make time. You have plenty of time for the things that you want to do.
I love it.
And this is something I want to do. Go fly with you. Look at this. Are we luckiest people in the world?
Totally
feels like it sometimes, I tell you.
Yep, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.